Stop for a second. Do not scroll yet. This is not just another message passing by your eyes. If you found these words at this exact moment, there is a reason for it, and deep down you already feel that. Something in your chest reacted before your mind could explain it. That is not random, that is not small. It means this message is landing exactly where it needs to land. So breathe, slow down, stay here with me. Because what you are about to hear may connect pieces you have been carrying in silence for a long time. You have been trying to stay calm, trying to stay quiet, trying not to chase, not to force, not to beg for what should come naturally. And that silence of yours? It is doing far more than you think. It has reached someone deeply. It has shaken someone emotionally. It has stirred something they can no longer avoid. You may not see it yet, you may not hear from them yet, but something is moving behind the scenes, and the energy around this connection is changing fast. Listen closely, because what comes next matters. Their heart is not as calm as it looks. Their mind is not as settled as it pretends to be. And the more you protect your peace, the louder your absence becomes in their world. Stay with this. Because before this message ends, you may finally understand why everything has felt so intense lately, and why the silence between you has become the beginning of something much bigger than either of you expected. You have been quiet lately in a way they never saw coming. Maybe you stepped back. Maybe you stopped reaching. Maybe you finally got tired of carrying the weight of a connection that felt one-sided. And even if you think they are not noticing, they are. They feel the shift. They feel the space. They feel the silence in a way that hits harder than any argument ever could. Your silence is not empty to them. It is loud. It is sharp. It is revealing things they tried not to face. It is showing them the parts of themselves they kept hidden under pride, confusion, fear, and delay. They thought they had more time. They thought you would always be there. They thought they could keep avoiding what they felt and still somehow keep the connection alive. But now the distance is forcing truth to rise. And that truth is heavy. It is uncomfortable. It is real. They are feeling emotional pressure they do not know how to explain, not even to themselves. Something inside them is being pulled open. Old walls are cracking. Old excuses are losing power. What they once pushed aside is now standing directly in front of them. And what makes it stronger is this. Your silence is not attacking them. It is reflecting them. It is making them sit with everything they did not say, everything they delayed, everything they felt but did not express. Keep listening, because this is where the energy starts to turn. What feels quiet on the outside is becoming a storm on the inside, and that storm is pushing them closer to a choice they can no longer keep avoiding. They have been seeing reminders everywhere, repeating numbers, strange timing, little signs that show up when their thoughts drift back to you. They may act like they do not believe in that kind of thing, but their spirit feels it anyway. They wake up and see 111. They glance at the clock and it says 2:22. They notice 4:44 when they least expect it. They catch 5:55 right when their mind circles back to your name, and every time it happens, something in them pauses, something in them wonders, something in them starts to feel that this connection is bigger than what logic can explain. And it is not only signs, it is dreams, sudden memories, songs that hit too hard, moments in the middle of an ordinary day when your energy rushes back into their mind without warning. They have been thinking about you in random moments. They have been replaying old conversations. They have been asking themselves why your silence feels so different from every other goodbye they have known. Why this distance feels personal. Why your absence does not fade. And the answer is simple, even if it scares them. It matters because you matter. This connection touched a part of them that does not wake up easily. It reached beyond surface attraction. It reached beyond convenience. It reached the place where truth lives, and now that place is active. Now it is loud. And if this already feels familiar, stay with me, because what they do next may come from a part of themselves they have never shown you before. They are overwhelmed, not because they do not care, but because they care more than they know how to handle. That is the part they have been trying to hide. Your silence woke something raw in them, something emotional, something deep. Something they kept pushing down because feeling it fully would mean they could not stay safe behind distance anymore. It shook the walls around their heart. It cracked old defenses they built over years. It forced them into a place where they have to face what is true. And right now, they feel like they are losing control of the story they were trying to manage. They are restless. They are distracted. They are emotional in strange waves. One moment they seem fine. The next moment they are pacing, checking their phone, drifting into thought, staring into space, replaying your energy in their head. This is not random. This is the inner pressure of someone who knows they are standing near a turning point. They are starting to realize they could lose something they are not ready to lose. And that realization changes people. It makes them think differently. It makes them question the choices they made. It makes them imagine bold moves they never thought they would make. Listen carefully here. What feels like distance is becoming a mirror. And that mirror is asking them one direct question over and over again. Are you going to step up, or are you going to let this slip away forever? That question is getting louder. That question is following them. And sooner or later it will demand an answer. You have been wondering if they even notice, if they even care, if your absence means anything at all to them. And the truth is yes, it does. More than you realize. They feel your silence in their body, in their thoughts, in their quiet hours, in the emptiness where your presence used to be. Even if they are not saying it out loud, they have been talking to themselves about you constantly, replaying conversations they never sent, imagining what they would say if they finally dropped the mask, wondering if you would still listen, wondering if you have already pulled away for good. Their soul is reaching a point where pretending is getting harder. They are questioning why they held back, why they chose fear over connection, why they told themselves distance would somehow protect them from feeling too much, why they did not recognize your value sooner. And the more they sit with those questions, the more the truth rises. Your silence did not push them away. It pushed them inward. It forced them to meet themselves honestly. It forced them to feel the cost of emotional delay. Stay here, because this next part matters. They are not only thinking, they are preparing. They are imagining different ways to break the silence. A message, a confession, a sudden appearance, a deeper truth than you ever expected from them. Something is building. Quietly, yes, but powerfully. And when a person reaches that kind of emotional pressure, the release often comes in a way no one sees coming. The intensity you have been feeling is not your imagination. Something is changing. Your silence did not just create distance, it created movement. It created transformation. Ever since you pulled your energy back, they have been quietly unraveling inside. They may be acting normal on the outside, smiling, working, going through routine, pretending everything is fine. But underneath that surface, there is noise. They have been pacing rooms, checking their phone without meaning to, going over every detail of what happened between you, what they said, what they should have said, what they still wish they could say. They feel your absence like weight in the chest. They feel it when the day gets quiet. They feel it when distractions stop working. And the harder they try to act unbothered, the more obvious it becomes to their own spirit that they are not okay. Someone around them may have even noticed. A friend, a sibling, someone close enough to say, "You have not been yourself lately." That simple sentence can hit harder than they expect, because deep down they know why. Deep down they know who is on their mind. And once another person starts naming the shift, it becomes even harder to deny. So do not skip this part. Their emotional pressure is rising. Their denial is weakening. Their silence is getting heavy too. And when both people feel the weight of a bond at the same time, something usually breaks open. Not to destroy the connection, but to reveal what has been hidden underneath it all. They keep replaying every moment between you, every message, every look, every small memory that once seemed normal but now feels loaded with meaning. They imagine different outcomes, different timelines, different choices. What if they had reached out sooner? What if they had been honest? What if they had not let pride guide them? What if you were the one person they were not supposed to lose? Those thoughts are becoming louder. They scroll through old messages. They look at pictures longer than they planned to. They remember things you said that did not fully land at the time, but now come back with surprising depth. They are realizing your intuition was stronger than they admitted. They are realizing your presence felt healing. They are realizing you saw truth in them before they were ready to face it themselves. And that realization is humbling. It hurts, but it also wakes people up. The world around them is changing too. Old distractions feel empty. Shallow attention feels weak. Things that used to keep them numb are no longer working the same way. The noise is fading, and what remains is your energy, your memory, your absence, and the truth they can no longer push aside. This is not just a passing emotional wave, this is a lesson arriving at full force. And right in the middle of that lesson, they are being pushed toward a decision. Will they stay in regret, or will they finally move with honesty? Keep listening, because the answer may be closer than they expected, and the courage they once lacked is slowly beginning to build. This is not likely to be a small move, not just a casual "hey," not some weak message sent out of boredom. The energy around this feels deeper than that. This feels like emotional surrender, a breakthrough, a confession, something they have been holding inside for far too long finally reaching the surface. They are being pushed to choose vulnerability over distance, truth over pride, and real connection over safe silence. And the important part is this: you are not being asked to chase them. You are not being asked to rescue them. You are being asked to stay grounded, stay clear, stay aligned with your peace. Because your silence has become a kind of spiritual mirror, and they can no longer look into that mirror without seeing what they truly feel. They feel drawn toward you in a way they cannot explain with simple words anymore. It is like an invisible pull, a pressure in the heart, a repeating thought they cannot shut off. Whether they act today, tomorrow, or later when you least expect it, the emotional direction is becoming clear. They are moving closer to a moment where hiding no longer feels possible, and your heart may have already sensed this before your mind understood it. Maybe you have felt emotional for no reason. Maybe you have woken up thinking of them. Maybe you have felt sudden heaviness, then sudden calm. That shift is not meaningless. When two people remain deeply connected, sometimes the energy changes before the words do. And right now, the energy is telling a story that is still unfolding. There may already have been a conversation in their life that changed something. Maybe a friend told them the truth. Maybe a sibling saw through the act. Maybe someone close said, "Why are you pretending not to care when you clearly do?" Or maybe they heard, "You are about to lose the best thing you ever had." Those words do not leave easily when they land at the right time. They force reflection. They crack denial. They expose fear. And after that kind of moment, people can no longer hide from themselves in the same way. Since then, they have likely been sitting in emotional confusion. 1 minute frustrated, 1 minute regretful, 1 minute hopeful, 1 minute afraid. Their chest feels tight, their sleep feels strange, their mind feels noisy. Songs remind them of you. Small places bring back memories. Even routine moments suddenly carry emotional weight. They are beginning to understand that this is not just attraction and not just attachment. It feels soul deep to them now. That realization is both beautiful and terrifying, because once someone knows a connection matters at that level, they also know losing it will not feel light. So they keep going back to the last conversation, the last look, the last chance they had to say more. They keep wondering if you have moved on, if someone else is now seeing your worth, if they waited too long. And that fear is powerful, sometimes stronger than pride itself. So if you feel like something is building, trust that, because behind closed doors, there is an emotional storm turning into emotional truth, and truth like that usually searches for a voice. They are starting to imagine a future with you in a more serious way now, not just fantasy, not just a passing thought, something more grounded, more real. They imagine calling you, explaining everything, admitting what they held back, telling you that your silence changed them, telling you they finally understand what this connection meant, telling you they were afraid, and that fear made them hesitate. But hesitation has become unbearable. They may imagine you listening. They may imagine you staying quiet. They may imagine you walking away. All of those possibilities scare them. But what scares them even more is doing nothing and living with that regret. Your energy has kept working on them. Every time you chose peace instead of chaos, it said something. Every time you stopped chasing, it taught something. Every time you protected your heart, it created space for them to feel the truth without your constant presence softening the lesson. That is why this silence has power. It was not punishment, it was alignment, it was self-respect, it was emotional truth in action, and now it is humbling them, now it is changing them. The walls they once hid behind are weakening, their heart is softening, their excuses are running out. And if you have felt the connection becoming stronger in the quiet, that is because it probably has. Some bonds become clearer in absence, some truths become louder in stillness. And this one may be moving toward a moment where the emotions they buried for so long can no longer stay buried. They are not sleeping the same. They are not focusing the same. They are not distracting themselves the same. No matter how calm they try to look, there is too much moving underneath. Late nights bring memories back. Quiet mornings feel heavier. Casual conversations with other people feel empty. They may even try to connect elsewhere only to feel how flat it is compared to what they felt with you. That realization can shake a person deeply, because then they are no longer comparing moments, they are comparing meaning, they are comparing depth, and depth is not easy to replace. They feel you in the quiet, in dreams, in sudden thoughts, in strange signs, in the emotional pull that returns again and again, no matter how much they try to push it away. Something small can trigger it too. A song. A place, a phrase, a smell, a date. And suddenly, they are spiraling through memories, asking the same painful questions. Why did they not choose honesty sooner? Why did they hide behind fear? Why did they pretend not to care when they cared too much? This is the kind of inner shift that changes a person slowly and then all at once, because after enough regret, enough truth, enough emotional pressure, the heart wants release, it wants expression, it wants the chance to say what it should have said before. So if you have sensed that something life-changing is forming beneath the silence, do not dismiss that feeling. The stillness was never empty, it was preparing something. And that preparation may be much closer to the surface now than anyone can see. Every time you chose not to chase, they felt it. Every time you protected your peace, they felt it. Every time you pulled your energy back instead of forcing a response, something tightened inside them like an invisible thread being pulled. At first they may have ignored it, then they may have resisted it. But now they can no longer pretend it is not there. They remember the way you cared, the way you listened, the way your presence brought comfort without effort. They remember moments where you gave genuine love and they were too guarded, too distracted, too emotionally unavailable to receive it properly. And now those memories hit with force. Regret is rising, but it is not rising to destroy them. It is rising to transform them. People close to them may be noticing the sadness, the distraction, the emotional distance. Some may have even asked directly, "If you care that much, why are you still silent?" That kind of question stays in the mind, because the truth is simple. Silence no longer feels safe to them. It feels like loss. It feels like standing still while something precious slips farther away. They may be typing messages and deleting them, rehearsing conversations in their head, imagining a reunion, hoping there is still time, and little by little, courage is building, not perfectly, not all at once, but enough. Enough to make them consider doing something they once thought they could avoid forever. Stay with me now. Because when fear of vulnerability becomes smaller than fear of losing you, that is when people finally move. And that may be exactly where they are heading now. What is happening here is bigger than one message or one moment. This bond has been changing both of you. It has challenged both hearts. It has forced growth in ways neither of you planned. Your silence did not end the story. It became the turning point. It revealed what was true. It exposed what was weak. It removed what was false. And now it is guiding this connection toward honesty, vulnerability, and emotional clarity. They are standing near an emotional breakthrough. Pride is dissolving. Fear is weakening. Truth is getting louder. They keep imagining reaching out. They keep imagining hearing your voice. They keep imagining what it would feel like to stop pretending and finally tell you what has been living inside them all this time. And when that moment comes, it may feel sudden to you, but it has been forming quietly inside them for a long time. Every dream, every sign, every memory, every sleepless night, every emotional wave, every moment they missed you and did not admit it. All of it has been leading somewhere. So stay grounded in your own peace. Stay clear in your own heart. What is meant to reach you will not stay hidden forever. Real emotion can delay itself, but it cannot bury itself forever. And if this connection is truly moving where the energy says it is moving, then the silence that once felt like distance may soon become the very reason truth finally rises and gets spoken out loud. And when they do come forward, the energy may feel different immediately. Softer, more sincere, more awake. Not because every wound suddenly disappears, but because something inside them has changed. The version of them that once hid may no longer be able to carry the weight of hiding. The version of them that once delayed may be running out of room to delay. They are beginning to understand that real love cannot live forever inside avoidance. Real connection eventually asks for honesty. That lesson has followed them through dreams, memories, signs, and the ache that returns each time your absence becomes impossible to ignore. They now understand why nothing else has felt complete since you stepped back. Because some people leave a mark on the soul. Some people awaken truth that cannot be undone. You did that. You changed something in them. Not on the surface. Deep inside. And once a person has been changed in that way, they cannot fully go back to the version of themselves that existed before the awakening. That is why this silence became transformation instead of ending. That is why your absence became louder than presence. Because distance forced feeling, stillness forced truth, and now truth is getting ready to speak. So keep your heart steady. Keep your spirit clear, keep your peace close, because something important is still moving, something emotional, something revealing, something that may arrive when you least expect it, but in your spirit you may recognize it the second it does. What is real finds its way to the surface. What is meant to be spoken eventually asks for a voice. And very soon the silence between you may no longer be silence at all.